In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Greetings and respect
to the dear viewers of Muslimat channel.
A piece of news from Mehdi Al-Mashat that will quickly review, and it got me thinking to go to artificial intelligence. And they asked some strange questions which gave astonishing answers that we'll see together later. Mehdi Al-Mashat, the head of Yemen's Supreme Political Council, in his speech at the National Defense Council meeting, emphasized that the information we have indicates that the American aircraft carrier Truman,
following Yemen's attacks, has lost its commanders and has been rendered inoperable.
This is incredible news. If Yemenis can take out a massive,
sophisticated American carrier, making it inoperable, that means completely neutralizing it.
He also stressed that the attacks on Yemen came
once or twice from the Truman, but the rest
of the attacks were from other locations that we were monitoring. The head of Yemen's political council, referring to continued support for the people of Gaza, stated that we will not back down from this stance, and expressed a regret over the unprecedented Arab silence
regarding Gaza, which has reached the level of cooperation with the Islamists.
Who are these Arabs collaborating? Who were the ones pursuing normalization? Think about it yourselves. But let's move on to the question.
He asked the artificial intelligence.
I went to DeepSeek, the Chinese, and asked it to compare the military power of Iran and Yemen and tell me whether a war between Iran and America would be
more dangerous or one between Yemen and America.
Today, I saw in the comments that some friends wrote, Merveitendost, Yemenis are extraordinary.
We can't even compare to them. Their people are united, honorable, and all stand
against the Americans. Do you see such an atmosphere here? Are you aware of the society?
This perspective comes from the influence of media and propaganda on your thoughts.
There was an incident in Bashir, 2 or 3 reformists, one of whom, by the way, is utterly shameless.
His daughter is calling up to some overseas singer,
and then he tweets about the incident in Bashir. But don't get me started on the hashtag Iran war.
Who defended this country back then?
Notice, were everyone united at that time? Many were infatuated with the West. He was in America. At that time, there was a guy, a political analyst, brought on TS an expert. Even worse, Mohammad Javad Arif was this country's foreign minister until recently, and even
the deputy for strategic affairs to the president. During the war, he was in America.
Was stepped up, brave to the core of the system.
Those who are ideologically committed to this revolution.
Money, positions, and worldly wealth don't matter much to them. In critical moments, these are the ones who show up. Floods, earthquakes, incidents, wars, whatever happens. They stand firm. Even now, they're here.
These are the ones who'll stand firm if something
happens to the country. So, this comparison is wrong. You might say comparing Iran and Yemen's military power is also wrong. Yes, they're not even comparable.
But I mean the second part, is a war between
Iran and America more dangerous or one between Yemen and America? Let's see what they said. It says, comparing the military power of Iran and Yemen and annulling their threat against America requires examining several factors. First, comparing
the military power of Iran and Yemen.
Iran's manpower, about 6,000 active personnel. Its advanced weaponry, ballistic missiles like Shahab, Qatar, Karamshar with a range of up to 2,000 kilometers. Attack drones like Shade Manfi Sadosioshish, Ababel.
And a navy including frigates and submarines.
Its air force. Older aircraft but advanced. Air defense missiles like Manfi Sadofafdose, similar to Manfi. Some even add some Manfi Charsada to the list. Its regional influence. Hezbollah in Lebanon.
Iraqi resistance groups, Yemen's Houthis.
And the Syrian militias thought we should set that aside. They got a bit confused here. For Yemen, it says tens of thousands of fighters, trained and supported by Iran. Its weaponry, ballistic and cruise missiles, with a shorter range than Iran's, about 7,000 km. Shaded Manfi Sadosioshish drones and anti-ship missiles. Weak navy but capable of attacking ships in the Red Sea.
Regional influence limited to Yemen and threats against Saudi Arabia and Israel.
Now, comparing the threat of Iran and Yemen to America. First, America and Iran. Iran's missile threat can target as bases in the Persian Gulf, Qatar, Bahrain, Iraq, and even Israel and Europe. Up to Europe. That means our missile range exceeds 2,000 kilometers. Asymmetric warfare. Potential closure of the Strait of Hormuz, through which the south of the world's oil passes. And attacks on oil tankers. Cyber attacks. Iran has the capability for advanced cyber attacks on us infrastructure. Honestly, do you factor this into your war calculations? It's fascinating, cyber attacks. Iran is now at a point where it can take America down this way. Regional response, a war between Iran and America, could lead to widespread conflict in the Middle East. More accurately, West Asia. Hezbollah, Iraq. And let's set Syria aside again. Now, let's compare what happens if America clashes with Yemen. How this missile threat can target us bases in Saudi Arabia and American ships in the Red Sea, but with less range and accuracy. Asymmetric warfare, threats to oil tankers in the Red Sea, which is less critical than the Strait of Hormuz. Take note, some self-proclaimed analysts, how this limited regional influence is mostly confined to Yemen and threats against Saudi Arabia and Israel. News just broke that Trump is extremely worried about Aramco. Axios published this. Axios, which is linked to Israel's Unahasht Hizaro Devist, said Trump and Netanyahu are set to discuss issues surrounding Israel, including prisoner exchanges with Gaza, ending the Gaza war, and another topic about Iran. If America is planning to sideline Israel and coy up to Iran, why are Trump and Netanyahu consulting about Iran? Some people seem to be out of the loop. Conclusion: which war is more dangerous? A war between Iran and America is far more dangerous, because Iran has the ability to strike us interests on a much larger scale. The likelihood of widespread regional conflict involving Israel, Saudi Arabia, and resistance groups is higher. It's like pouring gasoline on a powder keg. If Iran decides, it can turn the region upside down, engulfing everything. A global economic crisis, due to disruptions in oil supply from the Strait of Hormuz. The risk of using more advanced weapons. Things we haven't even revealed yet, long-range missiles, sophisticated drones, and cyber capabilities. But a war between Yemen and America is more limited. Why? Because the Houthis have limited ability to target America's mainland. Their main threats are to ships and regional bases. The economic impact is also less severe. Yes, the Red Sea is vital, but not as critical as the Strait of Hormuz. Summary: if a war breaks out between Iran and America, due to Iran's superior military power, extensive missile capabilities, and regional influence, it poses a far greater threat to Middle East stability and the global economy. In contrast, a war between Yemen and America, while troublesome, would be more limited in scope. This is the concise and useful response to the question of whether a war between Iran and America is more dangerous than one between Yemen and America. So, to those who say we can never be like Yemen, either they don't understand our military power, or the Yemen is excessive bravery and our patience have led them to this miscalculation. Otherwise, who doesn't know that Iran, with its vast geography, underground missile cities, and extraordinary weapons, many of which we don't even know about, is a world unto itself, a superpower that has some people trembling in fear. Some want to scare the Iranian nation, saying if you don't negotiate, it's war. They want to frighten us with war. We are children of war. We grew up in war. When Saddam's Ba'athist regime was bombing Tehran, many of us were 3- or 4-year-old kids. Those a bit older remember it better. 80 countries backed Iraq, supporting Saddam. We stood against them with the resources of that time. Not today's. Now we are hundreds of times stronger. And we have no fear of the enemy. The enemy has weakened. Don't be fooled by its bluster. America has reached a point where even many of its allies
don't take it seriously.
It can't push forward with bullying anymore.
But some of its allies have it turned away. In the name of Allah, I ask for your prayers. God be with you.